Hey, how you doing? Justin here. Today we are checking out New Light by John Mayer. I'm going to talk a little bit about kind of a loopy version that you can do, what the basic chords are for a beginner. We'll have a quick look at the solo as well. Really cool, fun tune, this one. Lots of interesting things going on. So the first thing to explain, there's this kind of little loop going on most of the way through the song. It's not there all the time, so it's a difficult one to kind of put on and leave throughout the whole song, because there are little parts where kind of doesn't quite work. So you need to be a little bit conscious of that. Building up the loops and the layers is kind of a fun exercise anyway. So let's start by looking at the chords, like easy, open position, beginner chords, because you can play the whole song like that, and it's actually a really nice one for beginners to have a bit of a go at. There's no set rhythm pattern, because the actual parts on the record are a little bit more complicated, so feel free to make up your own. Might talk about it a little bit later on in the lesson, but let's go through the chords first of all. For the intro, we have A minor for one bar, then D, then G to C, A minor, D to G for 2 bars. Okay, so A minor, D, G, C, A minor, D, G, G. Might want to write those down. It's very helpful usually to have the chords written down for you. The verse sequence, almost the same. A minor, D, G, C, and that again, A minor, D, G, C, and then A minor, D, G, B7. Okay, so the verses, A minor, D, G, C, A minor, D, G, C, then A minor, D, G, B7. Now in the chorus we've got 4 times through our basic progression, which is A minor, D, G, C. 4 times through, but the last bar, the last time, stays on the G chord. So A minor, D, G, C, A minor, D, G, C, A minor, D, G, C, A minor, D, G, G. Okay? Fairly simple little sequence that. Easy to remember, there's just those little minor differences at the end. We've got another verse then, another chorus, so not too much to remember so far. In the bridge, we've got something kind of interesting going on. Now the chords, kind of the harmony behind the bridge, I'm going to talk about the specific chords in a little bit more detail in a second of what he's playing on the record, but the harmony is G for 2 bars. So it's got the electric player's doing. That's probably not a beginner kind of a thing, but underneath that it's going G, G to C, and then to E minor, to D. So you can play those chords underneath that little section completely fine. And then we're into the solo. Solo, surprisingly, we've got our little A minor, D, G, C, A minor, D, G, G. Same as that we had for the intro, that little 8-bar sequence we had for the intro. And then we got choruses through to the end. So the key thing here, if you're a beginner, is to write out the parts. So remembering that you've just got that little intro, A minor, D, G, C, A minor, D, G, G. That's the intro part. You've got the verses, A minor, D, G, C, A minor, D, G, C, A minor, D, G, B7. For the verses, the choruses, A minor, D, G, C, A minor, D, G, C, A minor, D, G, C, A minor, D, G, G. Okay, really, really simple to have those little sections in your mind. It repeats the verse, it repeats the chorus, and you've got the bridge, which was the G, G, C, C, E minor, D, D. So it's the one other bit to remember. And then it goes into the choruses around. So really, really nice song for beginners. I think one of the key things is, making sure you define the sections and write them down so you can see how simple they are. And then you just have these little tweaks at the ends of the chord progressions to remember to be able to get it right. So great, great party tune, this one. So now I'd like to talk a bit more about what's actually going on in the tune. The first thing might seem a little bit odd is this kind of looper part. It's this little motif that goes for ages through the tune. Very, very simple actually. It's just 5th fret on the 4th string, 4th fret on the 4th string, 2nd fret on the 4th string. So 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4. That's it. It doesn't repeat through the whole tune because there are sections where it doesn't work, but I mean, it works most of the way through the tune. So you just have to be a little bit careful with the looper pedal. It's not something that I'd maybe use for a performance, but it's great for practicing and learning a little bit about layering. So let's just put that in so you can hear how that works. Let me just delete my loop from before. So play the loop first of all. Then loop. Try and make sure you get that stop right on the beat. Ever so slightly late, but you get the idea. You can play those chords now over the top. I'm using bar chords now, but A minor, D, G, B7, B7 works too. Now, one thing to remember, if you're going to use it as a loop over the whole chord progression, you have to play it twice. So the actual motif, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, that's a 2-bar sequence. But the whole chord progression, the A minor, D, G, C, that's 4 bars long. So you'd have to play it twice. Again, let me just clear the looper there. So if we play it twice now. Here. So now we've got a 2-bar loop. We can actually record the whole chord sequence on it. I'll use bar chords this time. Here we go. A minor to D, G, C. And now we've got a nice little backing. So that can be a great thing to work on for the solos and stuff. There is another part that John adds in later in the record. It's kind of just a funky single note line. I don't think it's as useful in this kind of building up a loop thing. I think it's just that kind of thing. It's just a simple funky line. Nice thing to practice and have a bit of fun with. You know, if you want to work on your kind of funky line development, this is a great chord progression for doing that. You can keep it real simple. You can start making the changes. Lots of different ways of approaching that. So I'll leave you to have a little bit of an experiment. You've got a few choices once you've got that little loop there. If I just do that one more time and give you a couple of the ideas. Have just some power chords. Really works well, you know, it doesn't have to always be fancy. You could kind of put some funky chords in. You could really experiment with this tune. Like I said, the original recording is not all about that, so it's up for you to have a bit of fun and see what it is that you can make out of it. So let's have a look at the chords to the bridge now, because it's a really, really cool little idea what's going on here. We're starting off with the top part of a D chord, so it's, you know, big E shape D chord. We're just using the top part, so 12th fret on the 4th string, 11th fret on the 3rd string, thinnest 2 strings at the 10th fret. And then the other chord we want, 3rd finger just folds over and plays strings 2, 3 and 4 on the 12th fret. Just a little notice when I'm playing the that little chord there, the G chord. It's essentially this G chord here. 3rd finger is lifting up, so I'm not playing the thinner string, and 2nd finger is coming over just to cover those thickest 2 strings if I accidentally strum them, but I'm trying to get my pick just playing those thinner strings. So we got down, up, down, 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 1 EM, 2 and 3, 4, 1 EM, 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Now what's actually happening is the chords or the harmony are changing while that part stays the same, which is a really funky little idea. Let me just clear my looper again. So we so the chords are actually going G, C, E minor to D. So you get this really nice little blend here of those chords kind of staying the same while the harmony is changing around. So the harmony, like I said, was G, C, E minor, D. If you want to get a bit clever, you can try and add the bass note at the end of that if you were doing, say, a one guitar situation. So so that way you can kind of cover the harmony that's going on if you wanted to play it on your own terms. So that just leaves us the solo. This is a really nice simple solo. You can even see John playing it in the video clip. So the position, like where I'm playing the notes, is exactly what, well, at least it's what he's doing in the video clip. Might not have been what he did on the record, but it probably is. So we're starting here on the 14th fret of the 3rd string with the 3rd finger. Then 1st finger playing the 12th fret on the 2nd string. 2nd finger playing 13th fret on the 2nd string. Then 14th fret on the 4th string. 1st finger 11th fret on the 3rd string. Now we've got the 12th fret, 1st finger, semitone bend. Make sure you do the mute at the top. Bend, mute, and then play it when it's back down. Now we've got 13th fret, 2nd string, then 14th fret, tone bend twice, release, 12th fret. So first half. Second time, second 4 bars of that sequence starts exactly the same. But now we've got 12th fret to 14th fret hammer on the 4th string. Then just the 1st finger. 14th fret tone bend. Release. 12th fret. And then the bend again. The whole thing. Now usually when I'm teaching these solos I do a little count and count the rhythm of it, but this solo is so melodic that I really think that's overcomplicating it, and you'd be much better off just listening to the original recording a few times and playing along with it. You don't really want to be thinking 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2. It's too complicated. It's not really what you want. You might find it helpful to know that it comes in on beats 3 and 4. So the first 2 notes of the solo is 3, 4, 1. Okay, so we're playing the 13th fret on the 2nd string is on beat 1. Now, I would recommend having a go at recording your backing track there. It's only 8 bar through. If you have trouble keeping the tempo consistent, which I do, quite often use a metronome. Even though it's 8 bars, it shouldn't be too bad, but if you're playing longer sequences, pop a metronome on while you're doing it, or if you've got one of those Boss looper pedals, some of those have got a metronome thing built into them. But we're going to go free form for now, just to get this done. So 3, 4. Should be okay. I'm going to flick into the back pickup. It's got a little bit more grunt. But remembering that the solo is going to start on 3 and 4 of the last bar. So here's the G for 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's such a nice little solo, very, very tasty. For those of you that are interested in getting a little deeper, a nice thing to do would be to work out what notes are being played in the solo and what the notes are in the chords that are being played over, and see the way, the relationship between what he's playing and the chords that he's playing over. Especially any of you doing the theory course over on my website, this is exactly a really nice first solo for doing a little bit of analysis and understanding what's going on rather than just playing it. Not that that's super important, much better to be able to play it and have a nice feel and all that sort of stuff, but I do think understanding stuff like this can be quite a fun little exercise. I really hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you did, please remember to hit that like, the thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. I really appreciate the support. And do let me know in the comments what other John Mayer songs you'd like to see me do lessons on. Maybe check on the website first to make sure I haven't done a lesson for it already, because there's quite a few of his tunes already in the can. I'll see you for plenty more lessons very soon. You take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.